No, in Mandara you have got the Olgado, the long road of 700 kilometers. Madam Speaker, this is devolution. And if we continue pushing the way we are pushing, then the marginalization that we used to worry about, that was in the former North Frontier districts of Northeastern, will befall some of us. And we are not going to accept it. And this is why we were voted for. Madam Speaker, the people now speaking about the markets that are in this report and my neighbors. When you go to Serem, my great-great-grandmother was a girl born in Serem. She was called Lubandua. The same market in Serem, you go there are no public toilets. Madam Speaker, the state-of-the-art transport system in Serem Market, in Shamahoho, is border. Our children are forever exposed along the roadside. They are hit by trucks. Madam Speaker, most of them, they are exposed to sunlight and rain because there are no border sheds. These are the drivers of our economy. Madam Speaker, as her daughter, who we happily handed over to Kisumu, but who was born in the same place like me, you know Shamahoho. Shamahoho is the only market in Kenya which has a population of 2,000 to 3,000 shillings. 2,000 to 3,000 people doing business, selling bananas, green vegetables that we eat here in Nairobi, Madam Speaker, without any land. They are all standing alongside the road in Shamahoho. How Akaranga, who was the first governor, and how Tichilo, who has been governor now is running into 10 years, they have not found it necessary to move people who are next to that roadside, resettle them elsewhere, and expand this market. I don't know what leadership means to these two brothers of mine. Madam Speaker, this report really angers me that despite the brisk business I see in Serem, in Jeptul, at Kaimosi Junction, at Shamahoho, at Mago, at Savatia, at Modete, at Jabakali, Esibuye, Ilwanda, they are telling us that they collect only 13 million shillings per year. That's what they say in this report. That is not even half of what is collected at Khayaga Market only in Kakamega. And yet the same business theory, borders, Mamamboga, Mutumba, is what takes place there. So why are we collecting more money in Khayaga than at Chabakale? For your information, Senator Osoti, Chabakale Market, as you know the history, you people stole it from us in Kakamega. It is called Ishiabakali. It is not Chabakale. At Chabakale Market, Ishiabakali, for your information, Chabakale Market, which is more or less the same size like Khayaga, it is a better economy because it runs for almost 24 hours a day. And yet, they collect nothing. These people are just sharing that money. It is open theft. I therefore want to pay my respects to the Senator of Kisii, because I have heard you again and again, you've always insisted that we must standardize the electronic collection of revenue. Because in your own words, if it has succeeded in Murang'a, if it has succeeded in Kiambu, if it has succeeded in Meru, why can't we use the same system? We have never suffered any consequences of using a uniform INFI system in the whole country. We should stop this theft. I wish a guy who believes in integrity like Onyonga was to become either the chairman of EACC or better, you become the director of DCI, Madam Speaker, so that we can arrest all these people. Senator Onyonga, you better be careful.
Senator Halwale, you don't address
thank you, Madam Speaker. Back to business. I just wanted to warn you, Madam Speaker, that Senator Nyamu is threatening that she can she can derail him. I don't know how. She wants to derail him on matters of integrity. I thought you are a woman of great integrity. I know you as a woman of great integrity. Madam Speaker, Mbale Market. Mbale Market, this report, Senator Soti, what do we do? How can we have the headquarters of the great people of Viga, called Mbale, being the state it is? Why? Even if you just come only to Malinya Market, I deliberately, when I saw that the district headquarters was coming there, I deliberately moved families and resettled them elsewhere using CDF, so that we could create land where we can have infrastructure. You come to Malinya, we have created land, 20 acres, you have a stadium, you have the hospital, not 20, 30, 10 for the hospital, the stadium. We have created that. Why can't the imagination of governors be such that they create land in Mbale, for Mbale to be a headquarters? Every time I go for a drink at Nzogu, I pass through the market there in the evening, and our people love business. They love business. But then you can't drive through because they do the business on the road. We need to even ensure that the planning department, the city planning department, whether you call it city or town or whatever they call it, should actually be functional so that our people can be given an opportunity to enjoy doing business. I was listening to the former deputy president when he was in the US. He was truly misguided. In fact, if I had had any regrets for casting a vote to get him out of public office, Madam Speaker, I felt vindicated. The guy was telling the diaspora that the economy of Kenya is run by the men and women from Mrima. Madam Speaker, that kind of insult coming from a leader who had the opportunity, Madam Speaker, to be a DO in Nabaholo, in Kakamega, cannot be excusable. When the former DP was a DO in Nabaholo, an adult like me was an adult like him, he knows what he did to sugarcane farmers. He knows what he did to the shares of Moko in Mumias. He cannot go and insult us because the bad constitution that was there forced the presidency to stay in Mount Kenya for tens and tens of years, and in the process they wrote on the dictatorship of the executive to enjoy economic emancipation at the expense of the rest of us. He cannot then vomit on our shoes. I'm surprised that he even dared to field a candidate in Malaba constituency by-election if he detests our people to that extent. You tell people that they don't participate in the economy of the republic and you want to go and win an election in Malaba? Kashagwa, party leader of DCP, I wish you good luck in Malaba constituency. A time is coming, and that time is soon. Some people will have to respect us. People cannot be using election in, election out to get votes And when they come in office, they disrespect us, they economically marginalize us, and Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, they attempt to humiliate us. No, we cannot accept. We are men. We are children of women. We are fathers of children. Our expectations in life are the same as everybody's. We do not want any community to be left behind in Kenya. All communities must move at the same pace. I support.
Senator Asige, where is she? Senator Ogola, while she comes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Majority Whip, I never quarreled you. I only confirmed your assertions.
Order, Senator Khalwale and Senator Beatrice, you cannot exchange. You only speak through the chair. Contribute, Senator.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, through your chair, I want to emphasize that the same respect that Senator Khalwale has talked about on their region is the same respect ODM as a party calls for from each one of us. Madam Speaker, there was a reference of a blood group, and I wondered which blood group the Speaker was looking for, because the blood group that has delivered credible achievements in this country also comes from ODM. But Madam Speaker, as I rise to support this, I want to say and to tell all those shareholders that ODM as a party owes you nothing. That we cannot be your friend when you want and be your enemy when we want. ODM as a party has values that we follow, has principles that has kept us, and we will go by that principle and by the leadership of that
Senator Ogola,
party.
please focus on contribution to the report of the devolution and intergovernmental relations.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. As I focus on that, Madam Speaker, we also would like to tell every other person that stop your obsession with your reference to our party. Stick to what you like and enjoy your tea where you are. We know where we are coming from as a party, and we know where we are going to, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, coming back to this, I want to say that, Madam Speaker, markets are the lifelines of our people and the lifeline of county governments and our people in general, as I've said, Madam Speaker. And I want to support that other than the counties that have been mentioned, every marketplace in this republic, every town, all the urban areas, Madam Speaker, they serve some markets. And that is why I support the initiatives that are going on in the Department of Urban Development, of the Ministry, of the construction of modern markets across the country. All that we are asking for, that this should happen in all the market, all the urban centers in this country. Madam Speaker, it is pathetic to see the state of certain markets in this republic. Our people, the business people and business women in this country, deserve to do their businesses with dignity, Madam Speaker. And that's why when you see certain markets being constructed, we support that. And we say that the infrastructure being put in those markets are a key requirement of our people. Madam Speaker, our people's livelihoods are run across these markets with the businesses that are done. But as I've said, Madam Speaker, our business people require decency. Madam Speaker, when I narrow down, even to where I come from, that is their constituency, I personally, as somebody coming from that sub-county, would like to see modern markets in most of our urban centers. Kodiera Market was done sometimes back with Her Excellency Governor Wanga when she was a woman rep. It was great then, but Madam Speaker, I feel with the population that is there, all of us are getting to Homa Bay County in the next few days as we go to attend the devolution conference. And I know, Madam Speaker, on your way to Mbita, you have often seen the busy market on the highway as you go to Mbita called Kodiera Market. There are women selling potatoes there. There are few of you, especially the believers of shares, who think that businesses are only a limit to their region. Come to over devolution, Madam Speaker, take a ride to Mbita town. You'll see our women doing thriving businesses, selling potatoes, selling green maize, and all the fresh produce by the road. Governor Wanga constructed a market, but because of the increasing population, Madam Speaker, they have overshoot that market, and I'm looking forward that the government, through this program of modern markets or the economic stimulus, will put a market not only to the Kodiera business people, but even to my ward market referred to as Mirogi. Mirogi, Madam Speaker, is an old center. You have the parish just next to this, or by the center there, and that center serves the schools around the parish center. We have the Mirogi boys, we have the Mirogi girls, we have the Mirogi boarding primary school. Madam Speaker, I'm only telling you that there's a population that is served by that market. But if you go there, Madam Speaker, today, you'll find that our women are selling on the ground, Madam Speaker. And when the rains come, like we've had in the previous weeks, we've had heavy rains in our region. It is so pathetic because we have to purchase fresh vegetables, fresh produce, including tomatoes and onions, but the women are selling on the ground, Madam Speaker. They have to spread some sacks or all manner of paper bags to sell their wares. So, Madam Speaker, I expect that Mirogi will get a modern market soon. We have Magena Market, also thriving market that is in North Kabwoch Ward in Dewa that deserves a decent market. We have Sikwadi, which is also thriving. We have Ombo, which is the headquarters of the new sub-county that was given in Dewa, Madam Speaker. We have Pala, which is also has been a very old market in Dewa constituency. We have Riat. Madam Speaker, Riat is a thriving urban center due to the fact that the Sukari industry is also is also there in Riat Center. Sukari industry is doing well. Our people are benefiting from it, albeit the challenges that we are facing, some of them environmental, which we are also addressing with our people and the authorities, including NEMA and the Ministry of Health. But it has a thriving market that is serving almost 3 wards in that constituency, Madam Speaker. We also have a market, a thriving market on your way, on the highway to Sori Center, which is in Migori County. And all, Madam Speaker, what I'm saying that not only in Dewa, but all market centers needs to be upgraded. Madam Speaker, as the upgrading of these markets also take place, it is a good thing that markets are constructed for our people because it is a right anyway, Madam Speaker. But there is need to have public participation with the communities and with the business people and with the stakeholders so that these markets are sited, the siting of these markets is done correctly. Madam Speaker, as I'm talking, there's a big market coming up in Ndewa town. I'm happy if Senator Boni Alwale mentioned the benefits Homa Bay County has had. Madam Speaker, it is because of the leadership of that county that we have a leadership that networks with other leaders, and not only with the national government, but we have a governor that sits down, her leaders, colleague leaders in the county, including MPs. Madam Speaker, I hear there are counties where even governors don't sit with their MPs. But in Homa Bay County, we have a governor that sits annually, if not bi-monthly, with MPs, the MPs from that county, and the members of the county assembly. What is the essence of this network, Madam Speaker? While I respect she has the mandate to run the county, but she's cognizant of the fact that you need to carry everybody along in leadership. And through that way, the MPs are able to put together, and we are able to harmonize the different priorities and the different needs that we have. Probably I'm telling all other counties that is the reason why we may be doing better than all other, maybe other counties. Madam Speaker, but what I'm saying is that the communities and the business people must be consulted when these markets are done. It is one thing to want a market, Madam Speaker, but it is also another to site it in the right place. Madam Speaker, a market is going on, construction of a market is going on in my sub-county in Ndewa. And we are very grateful because I'm looking forward to a situation where all the market women, all the business people we have in my town in Ndewa will have somewhere to do business in dignity. But Madam Speaker, in the process of this, the counties or the governments must also involve people and ensure that the businesses are relocated in an organized way so that as the markets are put in place, the business people have alternative areas of doing their businesses until the markets are complete. Madam Speaker, I'm saying this because if you went to Ndewa town on a Thursday, like just the day after tomorrow, which is a market day and a very busy day, because the relocation was not done well, our women and business people are all over, selling on the roads, selling everywhere, and it is not organized. And Madam Speaker, the other disaster that we could get into, I'm using my town because that is where I live and that is where I know better. You'll find on a Thursday, Madam Speaker, all the business people, all the women are on the road. You can hardly drive in that town on a Thursday. But that is not the worst, Madam Speaker. The worst is if an accident were to happen. Madam Speaker, I've been holding my heart. As the women sell on market day, all the half of the legs are on the roads, their wares are on the road, and it is that same road, Madam Speaker, that lorries and tippers use to transport sand from the lake, from Sori, towards all the urban centers in the county. Madam Speaker, if you are there, you'd be shocked. Because if an accident were to happen, Madam Speaker, we would not only lose a few, but it will be a disaster for that town. So I'm praying, Madam Speaker, that as this is done, good relocation plans must be put in place to ensure that our people have temporary places to keep on with their businesses as the markets are built. But I want to say, Madam Speaker, I support the construction of markets, and I want to support this motion that Vihiga, not only Vihiga, but all the towns deserve markets, Madam Speaker. It is a good initiative by the government which must be supported and which must be encouraged, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, sometimes back, there was the construction of the economic stimulus markets in this country. Madam Speaker, that was a disaster. Sometimes back before, the pre-devolution times. I remember the markets would just be cited. Somebody just came from Nairobi with a drawing. They would probably consult 1 or 2 officers. And the markets were built all over. Madam Speaker, if you went all over this country, you'll see those economic stimulus markets unused. They are white elephants. But Madam Speaker, those are public monies. Somebody needs to account for these monies. How did they decide to use those monies? And who are they building these markets for if they are not used? In the same Dewa town, which is my sub-county, Madam Speaker, there is one that has never been used for all the years. And yet our people have held their businesses in an open ground that is muddy, that is watery, that is not habitable and does not make our people do their businesses with dignity, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I support this, and I want to say that even as a woman leader, Madam Speaker, the issue of markets are very critical to me. Because most of the time, it is the women, my women folk, who do a lot of business in these markets. We are asking the government that markets must be built because the people who use these markets pay levies to the county governments. We are calling on the county governments to ensure that our people do businesses in markets with dignity, in clean places. And Madam Speaker, other than the construction, there are certain amenities that we must ensure are in those markets, Madam Speaker. Where women do business, or most of the businessmen and women, there must be adequate access to water in those markets. Madam Speaker, in my area, we do a lot of, we are a community of fishermen. If we are not fishermen, there's a lot of business around fishing, and that requires a lot of water. And not only that, sanitation must be properly constructed that is adequate to the number of people in doing the businesses. Those businesses, the markets must have stands. The markets must have electricity. Madam Speaker, and as I've said, there must be hygienic standards that are kept in those marketplaces. So, Madam Speaker, as I support this, I want to reemphasize to the government that all our business women and men require markets, and I'm looking forward to a situation where